Hello there. This is where the fun begins.
What's going on, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well. And in this video, we have an exciting and promising news update here for Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie. We're going to be taking a read from the Direct's article as they are updating us here on this. I'm going to have their full article linked down in the description down below for you guys to check out here, as well as it reads with its headline, Next Star Wars movie receives a promising filming update. Now this year, Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie here is said to be coming out before Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, so we very well could have probably two Star Wars movies next year in 2023. Two Star Wars movies in the same year is very exciting. And it's also something that Star Wars has actually never done, so at the same time, it's kind of risky when it especially comes to oversaturation and that type of stuff. It feels like they could be potentially trying to rush through this type of stuff. Now, when we first last heard about Taika's movie here for Star Wars, he said that it's probably not going to be happening anytime this year with filming or anything such like that because he's still writing it all out. However, they still could be filming it in the early months there of 2023, so earlier on next year, and then release it later on in December, potentially in 2023. However, that doesn't really necessarily align with Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, since that there is slated for a 2023 December release date. So having two Star Wars movies for one thing in the same year is kind of risky with oversaturation and that type of stuff, but it's also kind of risky in the sense of having them overlap way too much or like being released way too closely together, like in the same type of month type of thing. And that's something that hopefully Star Wars and Disney and Lucasfilm just would not allow to actually happen. I have faith in Kathleen Kennedy and her producers and people that she works with. She definitely does get insight from marketers and that type of stuff. And there's also higher up people with Kathleen Kennedy. However, that's not to say that she doesn't do a great job or anything like such with Star Wars. There have been a few hiccups though, however, here and there, and that's all right. It's a learning experience. It's a learning type of thing. Now, to a little bit more info here about Taika himself here. Of course, if you haven't already known, he actually did already work on Star Wars before. He's not new to this, and this is something we've mentioned here on the channel here when we cover his type of movie here, his Star Wars movie here. So he isn't just flying blind into this. He knows a little bit of insight here. He knows what the fans want is the more important rather thing. His movie here is said to be something totally different, totally separated from the Skywalker saga. It's not going to be connecting to the Skywalker saga whatsoever. It could be taking place years before the Skywalker saga. It could be taking place years after the Skywalker saga. It could be taking place during the Skywalker saga. However, just set galaxies and galaxies and universes away from anything of such that's going on over there in that spectrum of things. Now, let's go ahead, jump into the article here as it says, after decades of gaps between trilogies and productions, Star Wars is in the midst of the franchise's biggest year to date. In 2022 alone, Lucasfilm released The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, which is slated for August. And from there, for the rest of the year, we're also set to get The Bad Batch Season 2. We're also going to be getting A Droid Story, which is going to be a Disney Plus spin-off type of little, like, just like a short type of thing. And we're also getting Tales of the Jedi. I feel like I'm missing something. However, you guys kind of get the picture here. We're getting a lot of stuff in the year of 2022. But as the article says, but that fans won't be getting this year is a Star Wars movie on the big screen, which is a little bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie, but it's exciting. It makes it more exciting here to look forward to this type of stuff, to see Star Wars back on the big screen once again. In the history of the Star Wars franchise, perhaps no year has been quite as pivotal as 2019. In November of that year, The Mandalorian debuted on Disney Plus, uniting a bitterly divided fan base and quickly becoming a pop culture phenomenon. It still is. Just a few weeks later, The Rise of Skywalker disappointed those same fans with its lackluster conclusion to the generational Skywalker saga, and I have to agree with that. While Lucasfilm has announced various Star Wars films in the months that followed, cameras have yet to roll on any of those big screen projects like Taika's movie or Patty Jenkins' movie here. Meanwhile, the studio has seemingly leaned into Disney Plus for its means of presenting new content with its shows like The Mandalorian spin-offs with The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and so much more, such as The Acolyte and the Lando Calrissian spin-off show here. And despite what audiences have seen and heard, things on the theatrical front may be for the positive development here. Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is to film in 2023. This is something I kind of was speculating upon here. However, we didn't have any actual sources here, so it was really just a Star Wars kind of rumor at that, maybe a speculation if you really want to call it that. that. Despite Taika's claim that he's still working to quote-unquote figure out what the story is, the Thor 4's director anticipated Star Wars film may begin filming earlier than expected, or at least of what he expected. After directing the season 1 of finale of The Mandalorian and providing the voice of the bounty hunter turned babysitter droid IG-11, Lucasfilm announced in 2020 that Taika had signed on to helm a live-action Star Wars film himself. However, in the months and years that had followed, both Taika and Lucasfilm were silent about the film's progress. While director Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron Star Wars film has been delayed here, however, Lucasfilm is still saying that it is going to be coming out by the end of 2023 in December, so there's nothing official coming from there. That's just rumors that have been going around. Now, the article from there goes on to say, leading up to the release of Marvel Studios' Thor: Love and Thunder, if you guys are into Marvel, I have my Marvel channel linked down in the description down below, BTW, it seemed that the director's Star Wars project was still in some way, as according to Taika, and he said it's still coming up with ideas, he says, but ready or not, it sounds like the production is ready to jump to light speed so that the long-awaited film can arrive in a galaxy sooner than later. This is my only problem with it, and the article is honestly probably going to mention this in a little minute here. You can't rush art. You can't just rush through this type of stuff, especially forcing somebody to rush through like writing a story is kind of like an awful thing to do, because they're going to come up with something that they don't want. It might not be bad, because especially with Taika's film here, it's unique. As I mentioned, it's not taking place anywhere alongside it with anything that we have right now with the Skywalker saga. It's something totally completely new, but it just might not be what he wants in his storytelling spectrum of things here. That isn't to say, however, nonetheless, that this could turn into not just a single spin-off film, but also an entirety of a trilogy here if he wishes to continue what he has going on here. Now, from there, the article goes on to say, according to The Hollywood Reporter, which is a very reputable source out there nonetheless, it's fairly self-explanatory. Like, if The Hollywood Reporter is reporting on something, it's probably going to be confirmed. Sources are now suggesting that Taika's Tale from a Galaxy Far, Far Away is looking to roll cameras in early 2023, meaning it might, with a heavy emphasis on might, squeak into that late 2023 release window previously announced by Lucasfilm Kathleen Kennedy. This year, as I had mentioned, is exactly what I was kind of theorizing on in our previous update video talking about Taika's Star Wars movie here. The film's official release date has not yet been actually announced, however. Now, kind of going back to what Rogue Squadron has going on for it with there, is the fact that there is slated for a December 2023 release date. However, it might be pushed back since Patty Jenkins has other films and projects that she's currently working on, so I could potentially see this. We just don't have any official word from Lucasfilm is the only problem, and the whole thing with Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron film being pushed back is simply just a rumor, so we can't completely depend on that. So the article goes on to say, should Star Wars fans have a bad feeling about this? And this is what I had just mentioned. Just like Rey, Star Wars fans know all about waiting, and just because Lucasfilm announces a film, that doesn't mean it will necessarily happen. And this is very, very true. We've had other Star Wars projects, series, movies, and full-on trilogies that have been announced and then kind of quietly shelved away and kind of just thrown away into the garbage, such as the directors and writers of Game of Thrones. The TV series were actually announced to have their own Star Wars trilogy. However, they didn't actually go forward with this, and because they didn't like any of the the conditions with working with Lucasfilm, creative control, and that type of stuff. This is why the news of Taika's Star Wars film eyeing in early 2023 start to filming and production comes as a surprise, as the article states. Now, while Star Wars returns to the big screen is good news for fans, there is some cause for concern. Since the last fans heard from Taika, his film still didn't have a story even. If Lucasfilm wants to change the narrative surrounding as its last batch of theatrical films, stories should come first. There needs to be a reason for why this new adventure should be really told, and that there's no reason that it shouldn't, because it's just simply popular or a popular director like Taika has a name on it. This is something that Marvel is starting to kind of fall victim to here, is where they're trying to pump up all of these new projects and it's just rushed kind of storytelling. Some of the stories don't necessarily make sense. However, I don't feel like that Marvel's completely gotten to that phase yet of where they're just kind of throwing stories out there just to throw stuff out there. It's just much more of a quality over quantity type of thing, and this is something that Star Wars doesn't need to fall victim to, and us as fans need to speak out against this type of stuff that's being reported on here. The article says Taika's to credit. He seems to be aware of this. In past interviews, he's emphasized on the need for the movie to feel like an actual Star Wars film. Hopefully this new report of him starting filming in early 2023 is because he's found out that story and that Star Wars tone. However, if he hasn't and it's due to it's already a packed schedule, it should be the benefit of the franchise and the fan base if Lucasfilm alters its theatrical slate one more time, as important pushing it back. Whether or not audiences will be packing theaters late next year or in 2024 for Taika's Star Wars film remains to be seen, with any type of confirmation here from Lucasfilm, Disney, or Star Wars. Something I do think that we should be getting something very, very soon here in the coming couple of months. In September, we have D23, where hopefully this time Star Wars will be getting a few new announcements here. If not announcements, hopefully just updates for its current and existing projects that have already been announced. Now from there, that there is where the article actually ends. And really our final takeaway, our final purpose of this entirety of the video is that in one video here, or at least in one update here, we have Taika saying that my Star Wars movie is not ready whatsoever. I don't have a story, I don't have anything, and I really don't know what I'm doing here type of thing. And then on the other hand, we have Lucasfilm that's saying everything's chill, we got this, it's still coming out in 2023 type of deal. So in case you were wondering, Comic-Con is currently going on right now. There's not going to be any Star Wars announcements, there's no Star Wars panels or anything like that. So that's why I'm saying that all these types of announcements and updates from Lucasfilm and Star Wars should be held for D23. And I honestly was also kind of predicting the same thing with Marvel, is that they would announce a few things or update us on a few things, maybe give us a first couple of looks here for some of their upcoming projects here, and then save the rest for D23. That all being said, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'd absolutely love to hear what you guys all think. What do you guys think about this, the whole situation that's going on? It's almost like a little bit of a Cold War here kind of going on, where you have the director saying that stuff isn't ready here, and then you have Lucasfilm saying that it's all chill and then it's all happening and it's all going to plan right here. Do you think this is a little bit of a Cold War type of thing going on here? And if so, do you think that Taika is going to step down from his Star Wars movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd absolutely love to hear what you guys all think. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as it really does help with the channel, and check out our Instagram on official Star Wars Smart Star Wars and the content, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. As always, may the force be with you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day or night. Peace out.